Yeah. Hello, guys. Welcome back. Finally, I'm back. Before starting this review, these thoughts plus a rewatch of episode 18 of season 4, part 2 of Shingeki no Kyojin, I wanted to say thank you so much for the support. Thank you for waiting for me. I'm using this. I mean, I'm on this live streaming with the new computer. And thank you so much for the support. I still have to check the hard disk thing regarding Code Geass and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. I will check it tonight. Fingers crossed. Still, I still don't know. But this is my new computer, and thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for waiting for me. I'm late. Yes, I am. But I'm here. I'm back. I'm ready to be back, and I'm so happy to be back. So thank you so much. Look, yes, here there are my notes about this episode. There are so many. I have so many things to say. And let me start immediately. Before starting rewatching this amazing episode, I'm going to tell you all of my thoughts. If I look down, it's just because I'm following the notes that I wrote in order for me not to skip anything regarding this incredible episode. So let's start once for all. Okay, I wanted to start by analyzing, by telling you my opinion regarding one sentence that Armin said already at the end of the previous episode, episode 76. He was saying, talking about the Jinarashi, that is the rumbling. He was saying Eren will do the things that he is doing because by doing this, he will be able to protect Paradise for 50 years. I mean, for 50 years, nobody will touch Paradise anymore. Well, my question now is, yeah, I should have told you this previously. I mean, I should have told you this last week. But now that I think about it, yeah, I'm thinking, what does this mean? I mean, does this mean that after the rumbling and all the things that are about to start, we will see a sort of a peaceful environment for 50 years, and then after 50 years the things are about to restart all over again. If this is what Armin wants to say thanks to this sentence, one of my theories that I told you many times months ago were true. I mean, that Eren's sacrifice will not be solving anything because the world will go on and other problems will come later. So it's not that by erasing everything with the rumbling, nothing is going to, everything, no, nothing, everything is going to change forever. No, I think that in the future, maybe after Eren's death, there will be other problems, other things happening. So, this is really interesting. For 50 years, I mean, there is a time limit that is specific. And yeah, last time I forgot to tell you this because I was rushing myself, to be honest, because I was talking too much. But I think that even today I will talk too much. So be prepared, be ready, and so sorry in advance. But yeah, so what's going to happen later? What's going to happen after these 50 years? In the case Eren will be able to do what he wants to do. And we will see maybe in these 8 extra pages if they tell us or they give us some detail or something that we can guess what can happen later. Can't wait. Um, Another thing I like, look, I'm going to go scene after scene, and thanks to the scenes, I'm going to tell you my thoughts and my analysis of what I watched. So, as always, I'm going with the flow. I mean, I'm following scene after scene. But definitely, another thing I wanted to say, and that I already told you many times, is the role of John here. We saw after this scene in which there was a repetition. Yes, many people were saying that they were going so slow this time. It was a slowly episode, but I have to say that even if it was slow, as many people think, this episode was full of characters development, and I really liked it because of this. I definitely think that the development of characters in Shingeki no Kyojin is something really essential, and if you skip that and if you make everything so fast, there is the risk that you're going to miss some of these important details of the development of characters that are about to be missed. So I prefer slow episodes instead of rushing episodes in which you see everything like this, and you don't even pay attention on what's going on from the perspective of all characters. So definitely I wanted to remark these. But anyway, going back to John, I want to say that I really like him because once again, he is admitting that he likes Eren. And even if it was really hard for him to admit to something like this, because we all know that from season one he didn't like him at all, also because there was Mikasa involved in all this. I mean, we all know that John loves Mikasa, or he has a great feeling for her, but he already knows that Mikasa's heart is stolen by somebody else. So, as I was telling you many times, I really think that John is a great man because he's a real man because there was an advantage for him, especially right now, to tell Mikasa, look, Mikasa, Eren is wrong. He told you that he hates you, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, he didn't want to detach Mikasa from her own feelings. And this is something that I really admire from John. I totally respect him, and I totally respect the pain he's feeling for his own feelings, actually. I really like how honest he is. The fact that he is admitting in front of everyone, but especially in front of himself, the fact that he has always admired Eren's courage and the way in which he was always pushing himself to move forward, to go beyond everything, something that John was not able to do so in season one, for example. But later, after talking to Eren, if you remember, he decided to join Chosahedan. So I think that it's also thanks to Eren and his speech to him at that time that Jan could join them to the Chosahedan, and Jan could develop as a character. So I think that somehow Jan is grateful to him, even if yeah, there are feelings involved, and he when he's saying that he knows or he knew that Eren was going to trash them into hell. I mean, drag them into hell. Yeah, I think that this is what was about to happen, actually. But at the same time, by saying something like this, he's not denying the fact that Eren has a strong personality, and he's not envious, but he is admiring him because it's thanks to that personality he has that he's still going forward and he's still going on with his plan, no matter the plan. I mean, no matter what it's his plan, but he's still going on, and this is something really admirable from John's perspective. So when he said, actually, even if I know everything like this, I didn't want to, or I don't want Eren to die right now. This is something great. I love John, and I think that in season four he changed a lot and he developed so much. So I'm really, really happy that this character could made it so far. And I'm so happy that Marco was right. Marco was totally right when he was saying, when he was praising him in front of him, the great abilities or the fact that he could have become a great commander of the Chosahedan. I think, yeah, John can do it. And because why John can do this is because he's honest, not just with himself, but with all the others. He is not afraid to express his feelings in front of everyone. He is admitting his own feelings, and this is something that many other characters don't do. But he's doing this, so I really love this. And he is respecting Mikasa's feelings. I think this is the highest level of what a great man should be, or how a great man should be. So, good job, John. I think he will survive. I tell you this once again. And I think that John, even if it's something as a paradox to say, but I think John will be the perfect person to stay next to Mikasa when Eren will be gone because he will respect her. I don't think that he will take this as an advantage because he could have done it already, but he didn't. So I think that John will definitely stay a little bit away from Mikasa, but he will keep an eye on her. And in the future, this is something as a guarantee for Eren. So I think, yeah, this is so great. Um, then another thing I wanted to say is Connie. Yeah, even in his case, no matter how angry he is, he can't deny to himself that his love for this team is more important than all the betrayals. And even if he thinks that Eren is betraying them, I mean, he's a traitor. Um, yeah, his feelings for him, they are more important. And when he was saying, yeah, if he's going to die, how can I slap on his face or something like that? Yeah, this is a way to say, okay, yes, at the end of the day, even if Eren is doing something wrong, or even if I believe that he's a traitor, my love, my feelings for him are more important than anything. And this is something great because we know how Connie is fragile right now, but at the same time, he wants to give the usual or another chance. He can and give it to Eren, even if he knows that he changed from his perspective and from everyone's perspective. But I think Connie is doing the right thing right now. I'm so happy that after the tempest, after the storm inside his heart that he still has. But now he feels a little bit better. And by knowing that John is going and by knowing that John doesn't want Eren to die, he feels more confident to say, okay, I'm not alone to think something like this, so I can say it too. That was really nice. Do you remember how Connie was? I mean, in the past, in the previous seasons, he was standing next to Eren and he was laughing together with him. He was saying, "Yeah, do you remember?" But now, if we check the difference, oh, there is a huge difference. And now there is no more time to laugh, as I told you. So, yeah, even Sasha is gone. So, how can we laugh right now? It's impossible. But yeah, I wanted to say this that both of them, both John and Connie, no matter how much they suffered because of Sasha's loss, they are still there. They are still there next to the person they believe was the cause of Sasha's death. So it's really admirable, let me tell you honestly. Another character, yes, present in this scene is of course Mikasa, and then Armin is joining her because the reason why I like Mikasa is that she's always thinking. She's always asking herself what's going on and why Eren is behaving like this. She doesn't want to believe others. She wants to believe her own instinct and her own feelings. And the fact that she keeps asking why Eren told me that he hates me, why Eren did something like this, why he didn't talk to us, why this. So I really like Mikasa for this, because instead of believing what other people are saying, for example, Connie says that he's a traitor, the other people saying that now Eren is the destroyer of the world, maybe he will be, but Mikasa is still there asking herself if this is the truth, or there are lots of questions that they don't have the answer still, but one day I'm sure that she will have the answers, and it would be pretty sad, but the answers will come. So Mikasa, keep going on like this. You're so amazing. And yes, let me tell you, Armin. First of all, I wanted to say that I'm so happy that he's here with us. I think that that day, in season 3, part 2, that choice was the best choice. I think that Armin should have been saved, and now he's proving the reason why it was good to be saved. I think that without him, especially in these moments, the moments in which Armin is seeing a panorama that is simply bad, the no matter the scenario, Armin is always there with his mind, with his immense and great strategy, with this cold mind. I mean, he doesn't want to be involved so much in all these mixed feelings that he is also feeling. He prefers to see everything from a detached point of view, from as if he is external to all this. And I really admire this, let me tell you. I think this is one of the greatest qualities of Armin. And even in this case, the more he's talking to Mikasa, the more he is remembering things that are letting him understand what Eren wants to do. Because, see, these best friends of Eren are the core of his art, and only Mikasa and Armin. Okay, even John and Connie from some perspectives, but only Mikasa and Armin can understand him 100%. And even in this case, Armin, that without talking to Eren, he is understanding, or he's starting guessing what the Eren's plan is. And look, when there was this flashback of season 3, part 2, I was like, oh, this moment was so terrible. If we think about it now, that moment was simply terrible, because it was an anticipation of the end. I mean, if we rewatch that scene once again, in which Eren is saying, if we delete all the enemies over there, are we going to be free? Yeah, that sentence, you see the melancholy, the melancholic eyes Eren has by saying this. And this melancholy is breaking my heart if I think about it. I mean, in season 3, part 2, I was just trying to guess what was going to happen in season 4. And you all know that I was telling you, of course, the answer is no, because you will not be free. But now the concept of a freedom is changing already. And you understand that the freedom Eren wants to achieve is not the freedom to be still alive and be free. The freedom Eren wants to achieve is to end his life, so somewhere else, in another dimension, he will be free. So even the concept of freedom changed throughout the seasons, and this is so amazing. We started by being free from the walls, and then from being free of the territory in order to reach the ocean. And then after the ocean, the will to be free from Marley's perception of the things regarding aliens, and then the will to be free because now we have to go against the Marley, so we have to start a war in order to be independent by being, by achieving new tools, new weapons, a new way to attack, etc., etc. And now we reached the moment in which the main protagonist of this story wants to be free by ending his own life. And ending, ending even other people's lives. I'm not saying the contrary, but this will to go away from this world is what he really wants and what Armin is guessing while running. This makes you understand how great Armin is. Because he was not thinking something like this while he was making this speech about Eren and how he really wants to behave with them and what he really wants to do against Zeke and Yelena. But in this case, he is thinking all these things by running. This is so great. Even this thing that they are going upstairs, as if it's a way to run from other jails. Once again, the cage and the birds, the will to be free, and these stairs. You see that at the end of these stairs, there is the light. While by being caught in these jails, everything is so dark. I think Isayama really likes to put symbols like this, as if it's something that as if it's a loop. Okay, we all know this. We all know how Isayama likes to go on and on and on by spreading these contrasts of colors, by using these symbols of the cages that are jails, but also the walls that are confining people. And then once the walls are over, this meaning of the walls is over, then you have another wall, a sort of wall inside your mind. I mean, jail or cage and birds flying away. This is so amazing. But anyway, Armin, thank you for your intelligence and the capability to reach Eren's heart and reach Eren's desire, Eren's wish. I think, yeah, Armin got it already. And in fact, he says, Masaka, yeah, yeah. Um, and another thing that I like about Armin, and the reason why I like that he is here instead of Erwin, is that he makes Mikasa think. He makes Mikasa understand that she's wrong right now. She has to keep trusting Eren. And if he was not there, the things would have gone totally different. So I'm really happy that Armin was chosen at that time because now we see the results of the reasons why it was good. So, Armin, good job. I hope to see you in action again and again and again, not with actions, but with your mind, because this is what we need. This was always the thing we need from you. So, 100%, I love this. Then we saw a repetition of sentences and words from the previous episode when Magath was repeating the thing of Heros and all these things. But let me tell you, by looking at these scenes, we understand that humanity, or anyway, human beings, they always love or they always need the figure of a hero, the figure of somebody that is going to save the world. Even if, this is my opinion, the world will not be saved. Because if it's not starting from the core, if it's not starting, generally speaking, the world can't be saved. So this will to have the hero that is personifying humanity, that is saved or that is about to be saved. Yeah, it's just a theatrical play. I mean, as if this role makes people believe that things are changing when things are not changing at all. Look at Heros. If we follow the story, Heros was supposed to be the savior, blah, 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 blah. In the meantime, he was not, because later Willie Taiba is explaining us what happened. But this figure that everyone is worshipping, Heros, oh, the savior, the salvation, the person who was able to end this eternal war that was going on. Did things change? Even if Eros' role was not that we know because of what Wilitaba said, but was Eros the savior for real? No, because here right now we are in a deep mess. So this thing of I mean, this thing that Magath is saying can be true because humanity always needs somebody that they can rely on. There's a figure as if, yeah, we are saved right now thanks to him, thanks to her, thanks to somebody. So, yeah, it can be a symbol of hope for the future. Hope that thanks to what this person is going to do by killing Eren, for example, is bringing salvation, peace, and whatsoever. But I don't think so. I mean, I think that everything is going to repeat all over again. And that's why I was telling you about this sentence that Armin is saying at the beginning of this episode regarding these 50 years of a peace. But what about the 51st year? I mean, what's going to happen later? Are we going to repeat this over and over again with other things, with other wars, with other battles? Yes, we will. In my opinion, humanity is destined to be inside of a loop in which people are keep repeating mistakes all over again, maybe in a different way, but there is no salvation. So even if we find the new heroes that I told you already in the previous analysis, my previous opinions, the new heroes will be Mikasa. By killing Eren, she will shine, and she and all the people who are following her, in this case even Armin will shine, yes, but mm, that's the figure, that's the representation of yeah, we defeated the enemy, but we defeat all the enemies on this earth, on this world? I don't think so. So it will be just something that it's not permanent. It's just there for some years, and then something else will happen. And here we go. We needed to fight once again. We needed to find another Heros. So these are things are going to repeating over and over again, no matter if Eren will be there or not. I mean, Eren, even if he will embody maybe all the problems so far, he is not going to erase all the problems. So, yeah, that's why I understand what Magath is saying, but at the same time, don't be so sure that after some years things are going to change, because you saw it already with the previous one. They didn't change. So, yeah, but anyway, these will, yeah, humanity has to have these men or these women, these entity somehow, this thing to hang on, to wish for, or to praise, to say thank you for saving me, and things like this. It's a common thing that we also have in real life. So I don't find any difference. Some people who believe in God, they wish that God is helping them. Some other people find these people who are erasing the wars as heroes, but maybe another war is starting later. So, as you can see, there is not one hero that can solve everything. Then another thing I want to say is I mean, I want to talk about Reiner because later we see once again that Reiner is attacking Eren, and I like Reiner's feelings. I mean, I like how they are well described here because no matter the fact that he is against Eren, I think Reiner still cares about him, still cares about all his old comrades. There is this dualism in what he's doing, that one side is always predominant than the other one, but there are moments in which you see his eyes that are almost about to cry, or you see some other times in which he is against Eren because he is also remembering the role that he wanted to fulfill, the role of the hero. There are other moments, I think, in which Reiner is thinking about how meaningless his life was anyway, and how he was used throughout all this time. So when he's saying, I hope, or it's enough for us, for all of us to suffer still. Yeah, I think Reiner is so tired. I think that his feelings are so well described here. The confusion that he has in his own mind, it's pretty brilliant. I like the fact that Reiner is not trying to kill Eren by being happy for this. I think Reiner's eyes are speaking for himself. And this is why I really like this character. I mean, no matter the fact that he's going against Eren, because that's how it's supposed to be, but at the end of the day, I think that even Reiner suffered a lot, and the way in which he suffered is well explained thanks to his eyes and his words. And in fact, when he's saying, "Nor you have to suffer still." This is so great because if you are really against Eren, he should just say, look, I'm so tired that you're creating all this mess because I'm so tired that we're keep going on suffering. And then he is going to say, look, I hate you so much that I hope you to be that you are about to be killed and things like this. If this was the case, I would have said, okay, actually, he doesn't care about Eren anymore anyway. But by saying later, I don't want you to suffer still too, this makes you understand that he feels so sad for Eren. Because let me remind you this, Eren was one of the first people to praise him. And I think he was the one and only to praise him, not because he was supposed to praise the hero, or not because he was supposed to praise the person who was forced since he was a child to join war. That is so terrible. But he was praising him without, I mean, Eren was praising the Reiner without even knowing who he really was. And that, I think Reiner will never forget this. And that's why he still cares about Eren. I think their bond is still there, no matter what Reiner was saying he's saying later, that I'm going to analyze that too. But I think that deep inside Reiner's eyes and heart, there is still a feeling for Eren. I think that even Eren cares about Reiner, but his will, his plan, and his purpose are more important than anybody else. He can't, I mean, Eren can't go against what he is. Otherwise, he's going to deny his own existence. So, by doing what he's doing, Eren is not going against Reiner. He's going against everyone who's trying to stop him because that's the way he is. Nobody is going to stop him because he is the Shingeki no Kyojin. So no matter if there was even Mikasa in front of him right now, nobody is stopping him from going ahead with his plan. So yeah, that's why it's not because that's right or over there. No, it could have been everyone. The leitmotif would have been the same: to go on, to be strong enough to move forward, to reach the goal. That's it. And the goal, I wanted to underline this all over again. The goal is to erase all the titans. He said it in episode 2 or episode 1, episode 2 of season 1. I'm going to kill all of them. I'm going to erase all the titans. So, in order to do so, he has to do what he has to do. Plus, now, of course, he has this will that is to find freedom. But this is not the freedom of season 1. This is not the freedom of season 2. This is another type of freedom that we are coming closer over and over again the more we get in touch with him. And the more we get in touch with the new episodes, the end of this story. I like Reiner's question. Why are you fighting? I mean, he's asking it, and why are you fighting? For what reason are you fighting? There are multiple reasons, maybe not just one, but he is fighting for freedom, to free himself from that world, the cruel world. Maybe he's fighting for Ymir too, because, okay, he's going to reach her, but I think that he wants to meet her. So maybe he's fighting not just for himself, of course, but maybe even for Ymir and for what happened to her in the past. He is fighting also for his dear friends. He is fighting because he is the Shingeki no Kyojin, and that's the main reason, I guess. He keeps fighting because of the cruel world, because he wants to try to erase it. Um, he is fighting because of all the suffering he felt so far that are not to be underestimated. I mean, I wanted to say this. We still need to understand that Eren's suffering is still there. No matter if we accept it or not, no matter if we agree with it or not, Eren's suffering and everything that he saw throughout his existence is still there. And it means a lot. I don't imagine Eren one day to say, okay, I get over it. I'm fine now. No, no. So, no matter, once again, I say this, no matter if we agree or not with what Eren is doing, we still have to understand this, that all these characters, not just Eren, but all these characters, they have their suffering, they experienced bad things, and they want, or they keep going on fighting to heal, even if it's impossible, in my opinion, their suffering. So, no matter the characters we are checking, everyone is still remembering his or her suffering throughout their existence. So it's not just Eren, but there is Eren too. So in the case of Eren, he suffered a lot, as much as none. I don't want to compare the suffering because we can't. It's so bad to do so. I mean, we shouldn't compare the suffering of others. But if we have to, we don't have to forget everything that happened to Eren. So he is fighting maybe also to erase this pain, this suffering that he keeps feeling all over again. And the fact that he is fighting because he really wants to change things. He said it so many times, even in previous seasons. See, I can't change things. Yappari, nanni mo kawatte nai ne. I mean, I can't change things. So when Reiner is asking why he's fighting, there are multiple reasons. See, so many. So that's why I'm saying, um, I think that um, we should understand that the purposes are multiple. They are not just one. And of course, okay, if we have to say so, yeah, he's the Shingeki no Kyojin. So of course, he keeps going on fighting. So Reiner, your question is a little bit rhetorical, let me say. But yeah, even in this case, the fact that Reiner is asking these things to Eren, or he's asking these things to himself in his mind, makes you understand that Reiner is still thinking about him. Otherwise, he would have just attacked him, and who cares about the reasons why he's doing what he's doing. So, as you can see, there are multiple ways to read these question, but also the answers for this. Um, and at this point, yeah, we reached the moment in which we don't know where to stand. I mean, because of the fact that everyone is trying to find for his or her own suffering, for his ideals, his or her revenge, personal revenge. I mean, we have so many characters involved here, and all of them have their own purposes. So it's really hard sometimes to say, oh, look, I'm staying on Flox's side. Oh, I'm staying on Pig's side. Oh, I'm staying on Zeke's side, on Eren's side, on Ari's side. They are all different. And once again, I want to tell you this. At the beginning of this story, we had two sides. We had behind, inside of the walls and outside of the walls. We had human beings and titans. But now we don't have sides. Now we have individuals. And yeah, even the Sasageo is already gone, because at that time Sasageo was a something that was a unifying people, that all the people were staying all together. But right now there are few people who are staying next to one another still. Okay, we have a Pick and Magath on one side. We have, of course, Yelena on another side. That is, we worshipping Zeke and Eren. But then we have Mika, Armin, John and Connie still together, more or less. We have Falco, Gabi, Colt on another side. But as you can see now, it's no more time to say I'm going to stay on their side. No, I'm going to stay to their side. No, we stay just on individuals' side. And now this is pretty sad. The fact that we don't have a group, a team anymore. They are all one against the other one, creating a mess of a mess of a mess. And this is pretty sad. Yeah. Um, yeah, then we have Galliard, we have Reiner, we have Eren, we have all these characters who are fighting for what happened in their lives. So even if we can say that we don't like so much one of the characters or more than one characters, but at the end of the day, they are all the same, because they are all fighting based on on what happened previously. So they all have different ideals, different goals, different type of revenge, and all these things. Oh, let me tell you one thing that maybe some of you don't want to hear this, but I have to say it. So sorry for that. You know that I'm honest, so I want to say this. I didn't like Galliard in this season 4. I mean, I don't like him. And in this episode, one of the things that I didn't like is that, as much as for part 1, is that he is always attacking Eren from behind. I mean, at least the Reiner is attacking him in front. I mean, by going one on one, one against the other one, face to face. But Galliard is always attacking Eren from behind. And this makes him feel coward. I mean, I prefer Reiner instead, definitely. Reiner, even if he knows his destiny, I guess, he knows that he's going to die, as I told you many times. But Galliard, even in part one, he was always attacking here, coming from behind, trying to coming from the underground. In the case of episode 16, he's always not attacking Eren in the front, and this is another reason why I don't like him. But yeah, I had to say this. Attacking from behind, attacking from underground, attacking, I mean, from downstairs, attacking the neck here, attacking strategically from other sides, and never in the front makes you coward. Because at least Eren likes to confront everyone face to face. Reiner is the same. So, yeah, I prefer Reiner from this point of view. I hope you understand what I mean. Um, and then yeah, here we go. Reiner is saying in that scene, "I was thinking that we were the same. Forget about it." Reiner, yeah. At this point, yeah, I said it already last year. I think you are the same. I mean, you and Eren are the same for some reasons, but from some other point of view, no, you're different. And first of all, the way in which I mean, the way in which they are reacting to what's happening to their lives is totally different. Um, the way in which, for example, Reiner wanted to be the hero at the beginning is not corresponding to what Eren wanted to be. And in fact, even in the opening, you hear, I all I ever wanted to do is do right things. I never wanted to be the king. Eren doesn't need these. Eren doesn't want these because Eren reminds me of Itachi in Naruto. If you follow my Instagram, I'm commenting here and there what I find without spoilers, of course. And yeah, Eren reminds me of Itachi because even Itachi was becoming the target. He was becoming the main enemy. He was becoming the criminal. He was becoming the outsider, the traitor, and all these things. But at the end of the day, we know that Itachi was the hero, the real hero of the Leaf Village. And he was making all these because and look, he was doing bad things, of course, because it's not an excuse. I mean, Itachi was exterminate all the Uchiha clan except for Sasuke. But even in this case, he wanted to do this because it was a way for Sasuke to shine and to rebuild somehow the Uchiha clan. So what Itachi was doing was just to let other people shine by doing bad things, by becoming the culprit, by becoming what he really wanted to become. But at the end of the day, the core of this purpose was something good. So I think even Eren is doing something like this. He will do something really bad by starting the rumbling. He will kill lots of people by thanks to the rumbling. Yes, he attacked already Liberio and he did a. I mean, he made a massacre. Yes, that means that he is doing bad things, and I'm not excusing him. Yes, but at the end of the day, he wants other people to shine because he will not be legitimate to live in this world. He is ready to be gone. So he will make other people shine. And in my opinion, yes, he will. But in the case of Reiner, he wanted to become a hero by being a kid and by mm, going to this paradise island where all the demons are, and even if he recognized the difference, and in this case he is the same as Eren, yes, even Eren knows that there are good people even in Marley's side, for sure. He said it in part one, but Reiner, he was ready to end his life instead. I mean, Eren, how can I put this into words? I don't know if I can express myself regarding this, but Eren has never wanted to end his own life before reaching the goal. Reiner was ready to kill himself in part one. So, as you can see, they are different in the way they react to bad things that are happening to their lives. This is the difference, I guess, the main one. But anyway, I don't think they are too different because anyway, they are victims of the system. I mean, they are victims of the cruel world they are living in. And this cruel world is like a dome. I mean, it's closing all the people living in the world inside of it as if it's a cage. So, this cruel world makes you feel revengeful if something happens to one of your dear people. This cruel world makes you sacrifice yourself because of the happiness of others. This cruel world makes you lose somebody dear to you. So there are many aspects of this cruel world, but definitely this world is cursing all the people living inside of it. So that's why I am afraid that after Eren's sacrifice, nothing is going to change so much. I think that there are other things happening later, but they are still coming. So this cruel world is not ended, and it will never end. It just ends, to be cruel, if people decide to behave in a different way. Just that. But I don't think this will happen because we are human beings. We are selfish I mean, our nature is to be selfish, and we are sinful. So this is why this cruel world will never end, even after. I'm pretty sure at this point. But anyway, oh, another thing that I really liked is when Reiner says, "Now, Irena, go to sleep." I mean, rest. This was really painful to hear because it's connected to what I told you before. I mean, the fact that Reiner still cares about Eren and he wants to prevent him to suffer still, but at the same time, if he sleeps, all the rest of the people are saved. And that now sleep, mm, it reminds me, even if it's in a different way, season one when Mikasa says, Annie, now fall. Do you remember? Ah, even Reiner, yeah, he doesn't want Eren to suffer still for this burden he has to carry. And he doesn't want that even Falco or Gabi are going to be victims for what he wants to do. So, see, this dualism, this thing that is going all over again inside Reiner's head, inside Reiner's mind. This is so great. I really like how Isayama was concentrating. He was focusing on this moment in which a writer still wants to do great things for his dear people, but he will never forget how well he was while he was staying in paradise. So this thing that is going all over again is simply amazing. I really like this. But then another aspect I analyzed already in previous episode is the violence. Wow, when Eren is breaking the jaw, I mean Reiner's jaw, I was like, he is really brutal. Yes, because the more you keep this animal let's say, in the cage, the more this animal in the cage is rebelling. So, or if we take another symbolism once again, the bird, the more is staying inside of that cage, the more knows, or the more becomes brutal, violent, rebellious, whatever, because he is confined. And if you keep Eren confined over there, when there is a situation that can't be helped, he is going to explode, because the bird inside of the cage knows how to behave inside of this cage, but once it's released, he doesn't even know where to go. And it's like Eren's mind while he's trying to figure out how to go away from Reiner's attack in that moment. It can become a beast, it can become a demon, it can become whatever. So Eren was always used to be confined in his existence since the beginning, because there were the walls. But even after he became a titan, everyone was reluctant to believe him, to trust him. Then he was confined into this being a titan. That is something that he couldn't get rid of it, because he was part of it, was part of him, part of his existence already. So see, all these cages, the cages are not just the walls, the cages are even this way to be a titan, this being a titan, or the fact that somebody is always stopping him from, I mean, refraining him from doing what he really wants to do. Since season one, he wanted to attack, other people were saying, no, don't attack, trust us. So he didn't attack, but then he felt guilty, he felt the regret of it. So as you can see, there are lots of type of cages in this story, but it depends how you can see them and how you can detect them, find them, analyzing them, and things like this. But definitely, even in that case, when Reiner was telling him, go to sleep, oh, I mean, not at all. We're talking about the Shingeki no Kyojin, and you can't stop him, because his will is more important than your attacks, than your words, than everything you think or you do. So, yeah, this way to go ahead to be released by this cage, it can be something good, but it can be even something bad. That means if Eren is going to rebel, is becoming something crazy. And in fact, I wanted to praise another thing, the scream he is making. I mean, many people said, oh, come on, this scream is boring. Oh, it's lasting too long. Oh, what a I mean, I don't like it whatsoever. No, I really liked that scream. The Eren's scream in this episode, it's like a siren. I mean, it's like a siren that something bad is about to happen. Or do you know? I mean, here in Japan, when there is a tsunami coming or there is a huge earthquake, there are a lot these sirens. Ah, ah. And I found in these Eren's scream the siren of. I mean, as if he was announcing somehow that something terrible was about to happen. And in fact, we are in the middle of a war. You see all these scenes that Mappa created so well, in which you see the meaning of a war. That means meaningless. I mean, war doesn't have a meaning. So the fact that you see all these scenes in which people are being killed and people don't mean anything and things like this, plus this scream and the noise of the bullets, all these weapons, all these guns that are used, and these zeppelins on fire, and the fact that they are going down because now Zeke is coming, yes, but all this noise that you feel, that is incredible, and the scream that he's making, and it's even shaking the buildings as if, yeah, it's an anticipation of the rumbling, this thing that is about to shake the world. that it's going to turn the world upside down, that it's destroying humanity as we all know. I felt it. I really felt that scream. And I liked that it was longer than usual because, yes, you can feel that something bad is happening. So I don't understand why many people disliked it. I didn't. It was really essential and it was really awesome, actually. So, yeah, I like this scream that is rebellious. I mean, it's something about a rebellion. It's a scream of wanting to be free from the attack of Reiner, from everything that is surrounding him right now. It's a scream that is, yeah, somehow, even animals, okay? They decide to mark their territory by doing something specifically, okay? But in this case, this scream that is in Shiganshina, it's a home and people are attacking this home. So this scream is like, this is my home, or I want to be free, or you wanted to keep me here and you want to kill me? Never in the world. Or, something bad is about to happen, the rumbling. So this scream is embodying many things. It depends on how you see this story, it depends on how you get in touch with Eren, or it depends on how you feel this scream. But or this scream can sound even like, I am the Shingeki no Kyojin and I will go ahead, or you can't stop me. See, there are lots of meanings for this long scream that he made, but I really like that because, yeah, it reminded me of a siren too, a siren that is anticipating something really bad. um Plus, yes, I want to say this all over again. There is it is a scream. There is the sound of a war, and there is the silence surrounding. I mean, you hear the noise coming, but it's other screams from people dying. The bullets of the weapons used, the Eren's scream. There is the blood. I mean, there are even the Zeppelin crashed down and the sound of it. So you have the sound of a war, Eren's scream, and then you have this silence because in this scene there was no music as always. And I really like Mappa for this because they are always finding. No, I really like even Wit, of course, because in season 3, part 2, when there was the moment before Zeke's attack, there was the silence. Okay, so I really felt it. I really liked this. And then Zeke arrives. Oh, look, I have to say so many things about Zeke. Let me go step by step. I'm looking in the notes because I don't want to skip anything here. First of all, Zeke arrives, and let me tell you honestly, this is really nostalgic to me because I remember at the end of season 2. Do you remember the first time we saw Zeke on top of the walls? Chills, pure chills. That reminds me that beautiful, yeah, that beautiful scene in which Zeke is on top of the walls and he's saying after that beautiful music, so great, da-na, 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 and the walls are getting closer, 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 and on top there was Zeke in the same position, I guess. Yeah, yeah, he was in the middle of the wall. Yeah, and he was saying, "Osoina," I mean, you're late or something like that. He was referring to Reiner and Bertold, but this is hilarious because right now we are in the same place. We are, I mean, Zeke is in the same place, in the same spot, and why he is on top of the walls. I mean, why he's, or they're in the middle. because he was the chief commander of the Titans at the beginning. And that place in the middle of the walls, as if he is standing over there, launching these rocks by demanding his role. I am here because I was the chief. That was so great. I felt it. I mean, this was really nostalgic. This specific moment frame in which you see him, and it was like at the end of season two, as if that was always his place, his seat, or his place on the walls. And okay, he keeps the promise because he's back and he has to meet Eren. And then there is this sentence that was really catchy. I really liked that sentence. I mean, Zeke said, I'm sorry that I'm late. I mean, or something like that. I came a little bit late. That is in contrast with the end of season two when he was waiting and others were late. These mirror scenes, they're so great. So he's late today. I mean, this time he is late. And he's saying, now it's all up to me. I mean, it was so great that you handled all this, Eren, but now leave everything to your big brother. I was like, oh my, because, okay, there are two things I have to say about this. First of all, why Zeke is saying this sentence, these are just my opinion. This is not something, how can I say? No, I mean, this is not something essential and things like this. These are just my opinion. He said something like this because he really wants to be essential. I mean, he really wants to have a role, a special role in this. He wants to be the one that is changing things, the one that everyone is relying on because he has never been someone like this. So, once again, he wants to demand the fact that he has a role, he is important too, and yeah, he needs to feel like this. So let me be honest. Right now, I feel so sorry for Zeke somehow because his will to be important, to be essential, reflects all his life in which he was not, or the will to be capable to do something till the end reflects all is a bad story, all is bad past in which he was always the last one. He was always the person that was not ready to be trained. He was always the number two. And when he became the chief titan in the previous seasons, he felt great because he was always standing in the middle. He was always um, trying to scare because he had a power. And in Paradise, they didn't know anything about what was going on for real. But yeah, as if it was a personal revenge for his previous past. So even now that he's on top of the wall, and it's like as if he wants to. Mm, I don't know how to explain this, but it's like as if he really needs to know that there is still a role for him in this story. And this reminds me even Xava. I mean, what the Xava told him. Look, you are not the essential one. In part one, he said, without the Shiso, I mean, you will not be the one who will start everything. You will be a tool. You will be a helper. So even this mortifies Zeke somehow. I mean, it makes him feel not so great because actually everyone in this world, but even in the Shingeki no Kyojin world, I guess, wanted to be useful, wanted to be somebody that really matter. But in the case of Zeke, every time we find as if little by little he's discovering how not useful enough is. So yeah, this catchy phrase. Now let's no, now leave everything to your big brother, as if I really needed to prove myself, but also all the others that I still matter and that I'm still useful. Do you understand what I mean? This is how I felt when I heard that sentence. Or, no, and, not or, and when he says that big brother. In that case, I feel so sorry for Zeke. I feel so emotional because he was not important to anyone in his life. I mean, he always felt, as I was telling you already, that he was useless, that he was not good for others, that he was not loved by others, by his parents in this case. He was thinking that he was an only child until he discovered about Eren. So, Eren, in his opinion, might seem to be a hope to create still a bond with somebody. So for Zeke, losing his parents, losing Liberio, losing his day life, losing Xava, he lost everyone in his life. Even if he didn't have so many people in his life, to be honest. But Eren, for him, is a possibility to create a bond. So when he's saying this phrase, I don't see Zeke as somebody that is a bad person. I see Zeke as an unfortunate person, a person who was unlucky. And this big brother is the way to wish to have a bond still. That's why I'm so cruel. That's why when that moment will come in which Eren will tell him, I'm pretty sure, because even in this episode, okay, I'm going to tell you later, but when Eren will tell him that the dream is not the same, Zeke will be. It will mean that he will lose or he lost even the another bond that he could create. And this will be pretty sad, let me tell you. Okay, then. Okay, I finished this too. Yeah. Then, oh, let me tell you honestly, after the opening, I got chills because we see, as much as I told you previously with the Zeke with the end of season 2, here in this episode we find a parallelism with the episode of the suicide attack of Erwin. I mean, we find this come si chiamava? Perfecto game. I mean, this episode of season 3 part 2 in which the perfect game of Zeke now is the sneak attack of this part 2 of season 4. And let me tell you honestly, Erwin is dead, but in this episode, he was still alive somehow. I found as if Erwin was there with us in this episode too. So I really like how Isayama is bringing back to life, in another way, of course, characters that are already dead. Because Erwin was a protagonist of this episode, one of the protagonists. If you didn't realize that, I feel so sorry for you, but to me, I saw Erwin here with us. And it was really awesome because, first of all, Zeke is launching the rocks. As much as he was doing in season 3 part 2, he was launching the rocks to Shiganshina, do you remember? But in this case, we found something strange in season 3 part 2. We see that he's launching the rocks to the people of Shiganshina, I mean, Paradise. But in this case, Zeke is launching the rocks to the Zeppelin. So this is something atypical, something that we could have never imagined in season 3 part 2. Then, we see Shiganshina once again as the main setting of this terror. And poor Shiganshina, let me tell you, because since season one, Shiganshina is the protagonist, I mean, the main setting of all these abominous scenario. And this is something crazy. I mean, Isayama didn't move over 100 meters. He decided to put this main setting once again for this sneak attack, and this is something crazy. Then another thing that is different from season 3 part 2 in this case is the fact that now Peak, who was supposed to be the helper of Zeke in season 3 part 2, do you remember? She was giving Zeke the rocks to compress them and launch them. And now Peak is against him. So even this difference, I mean, and now I'm going to tell you all the differences and similarities between that episode, Perfect Game, and the sneak attack. So as you can see, Peak now is against him. We would have never imagined this. Then we find a Flock there once again, as much as the season 3 part 2, where he also, I mean, a Flock also was another protagonist of that episode, as much as here in this one, in which they are trying to defeat the Peak, but then they can't. And then, they, of course, this time Flock is staying on Zeke's side. As a Jaegerist, while in season 3 part 2, he was totally against him and he wanted to be killed. See? All these things that are turning upside down from one season to the other one. This is mind blowing. But yeah, this was so crazy. And then another thing that is atypical, Zeke that this time is attacking Marlians. I mean, not just the military forces of Marley, instead of attacking Paradis. This is another incredible upside down thing compared to that episode of season 3 part 2. So wow, we are in the same place with the same characters, but everything is turning into a mess because now everything is different. Wow, this was awesome. And Zeke is on top of the walls this time, as much as in season 3 part 2 there was Erwin on top of the walls at the beginning. And at that time Erwin was saying one sentence at the end of the first episode of season 3 part 2. Erwin said, "We are here for the same common goal." Oh, Erwin made a spoiler even in season 1 where he was saying to Eren, "Who do you think is the enemy here?" I mean, if we think about it now. But anyway, do you understand what I mean? All these contrasts between a Perfect Game and the sneak attack episode, they are immense. Wow. But anyway, Zeke, then now he is where Erwin was, in the same spot. If you check it, episode 1, season 3 part 2, at the end, when Erwin is looking at him and Zeke is on the other side, and Erwin was on the top of the walls saying, "We are here for the same common same common goal. Who's going to win, Titans or human beings?" Now Zeke is over there, and this attitude, I don't know if I'm right or wrong right now, but it's like as if Zeke is quite superior. Even when he's looking at Eren, who is down over there, I don't know, but it makes me feel as if Zeke really wanted to be the essential one, even if he knows that he is not. And by finding Eren over there down below him, this feeling of being always on top. I don't know, I felt it. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. Even if he knows that he can't, but for a second, staying on top of the walls, launching the rocks to all the others that they are below him, there's a feeling of superiority that he has. Yeah, I felt it. But anyway, did you understand all these contrasts between that episode in season 3, part 2, and this one when Erwin was still there? But he was there too. I mean, he was here in this episode too, Erwin. So I really like that. Anyway, going on. Oh, now I'm going to start talking about a character that is Gabi. If you remember, I didn't like Gabi in part one, but if you remember, I didn't want to condemn her because I knew that there was a moment. I mean, I hoped more than I knew, but I hoped that there was a moment coming in which she could change, in which she could understand that everything that she was saying or doing was completely wrong. Okay, and she could have been doing better by following Reiner. And in this episode, since the beginning, when Colt is saying, "Look, you have to go over there, etc., etc., I'm going to rescue Falco by myself," Gabi is saying, "No." And just for that no, I was like, "Oh, good job." Why no? Because I wanted to follow you, Colt, and I wanted to rescue Falco, who always rescued me. I am the one who put the Falco in this situation. I was like, Gabi, good job. I mean, the fact that even a teenager like Gabi can reflect on her mistakes, analyzing what she was doing that it was wrong, and by understanding that, I mean, she's not presumptuous as before. Okay, she's a little bit when she's saying to Colt, "Look, I was the first of the class, so now, of course, what is she saying? Yeah, I was the first in the class, so I can't step back right now." Okay, in that sentence, there was a little bit of a, I mean, she was a little bit presumptuous still, but that attitude that she is having right now is totally different. I mean, it's totally different and opposite. And I'm so happy for that because she is understanding as a development of character. Gabi is super amazing because right now we see a teenager who was living in a pure hell because before, yeah, she was going to war and she could rescue herself, or she could go back to Liberia and things like this. But now that she could live pure hell by being away from her dearest people, by putting Falco into dangerous moments, into dangerous actions, she was analyzing herself, analyzing and condemning herself for what she did so far. And let me tell you, this is more mature than other characters. I mean, if even Karina, the mother of Reiner, could have done the same, that would have been awesome. And I still hope to find her saying things like this because she was the reason why Reiner is going to die. So I can't stand her. But Gabi, who is a teenager, could have solved all these enigma before adults. I was about to say Otona. Okay, this is crazy. But the way she is asking, or the way she is saying these rhetorical sentences to herself, makes her become a great character. I couldn't wait more than this moment to realize that Gabi is really great, and I was hoping for this moment to come. So I'm so happy for that, definitely. But mm, the way in which she's taking care of Falco, okay, even if later is coming one of the best moments for them, but I also think that Gabi cared about Falco even before, but she couldn't admit to herself. And in fact, she was blushing even in episode one of a part one of season four. So come on. But anyway, um, I'm so happy for what happened to the both of them. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to analyze it later. And I'm going scene after scene so you understand where I am right now. Then another character that is simply amazing in this episode, and this makes you understand how Isayama is great because he is giving the chance to all the characters to be important, to be essential to the story, to change the story somehow. And this character is Nile. I want to make a standing ovation to Nile because it's a thanks to his actions, it is a thanks to his words that Falco is having another sort of destiny. So it's like when in part one we were praising Sasha's dad so much. Even in that case, Sasha's dad was not even the third character, it was even the fourth and or the fifth character. But in one episode, that fifth character became so essential to the story, became really important, and that makes you understand that on Attack on Titan there are no first characters, second characters, third characters, and whatsoever. Everyone can mean something and can change the path of this story. I'm so happy for this, let me tell you. But anyway, even in this case, there is a reference to Erwin. Because do you remember in season 3, part 1? Erwin was talking to Nile, and when there was the coup d'etat, Nile was talking to Erwin while Erwin was in a hard situation. And even if Nile didn't agree with what Erwin was doing, anyway, Erwin was asking him, what about your family? Are they okay? In this episode, when he is talking about his family, I felt as if we could go back to season 3, part 1, sincerely. But at that time, Niall said, yes, they are fine. I mean, to Erwin, he said, okay, they are totally fine. Here, you see how Niall changed throughout this experience, throughout this story, and you understand the sadness, the depression, the uh, the suffering, the truth, the honesty Nile has while talking to a teenager and while talking to a person. I mean, no matter if it's a teenager or an adult, but by looking at Falco, I think that he was thinking about what Erwin told him in season 3, part 1. Is your family okay? Yes, it's okay. Now, I don't know if I will be able to see my family again. That moment was simply sad. And Nile, even if he was not I mean, even if he was not a saint, but he could teach Falco something really important. He taught Falco to spill all the tea. I mean, to tell your feelings, all of your feelings, to your dear people as soon as you have time to do so. Because when it will be too late, like in his case, you will regret. So, Nile was really essential here for Falco because he reminded Falco that he is not useless and he's not meaningless because people came to save him. So, by having this chance to be saved, he doesn't have to lose this chance. And he needs to understand that he is still important to somebody. Second of all, Nile told him that it's better to not regret. It's better to release your heart without being ashamed, because now you can, tomorrow maybe you can't. And this is so amazing. Plus, Nile has the same destiny as Falco somehow, because they both drank the wine and they both are hopeless. But in the most hopeless moment, family is the key. I mean, when you are hopeless and you don't know what to do anymore, you think that you're about to die, the last memory you have in your mind is your family. So this was so important. And I hope that Nile can survive, even if I doubt it. But Falco, I hope that he will survive, because he definitely is a person that can change things. So these all these things that are so beautiful in these scenes, that in your opinion, or maybe if you watch them so fast that they don't seem anything, no, this scene with Nile inside the jail, it was so beautiful. Because once again, there is a parallelism with the season 3 part 1. Even in that case, when he was talking to to Erwin, and he was talking about his family, they were still inside a jail. So once again, I like how many things in common do we find here with the previous seasons. It can be the same setting, it can be the same environment, it can be the same circumstances, it can be the same characters, no matter what. What's good here, and the greatness of Isayama, is that sometimes we go back to the same places in a different way. We can be more mature, or we can become more stupid than before. But the thing is, when you go back to the same place, and things can change in many different ways, things are not going to stay the same, and we saw it. And the achievements you gain inside your heart and inside your mind, that are going to change you no matter what. And all the characters in Attack on Titan are changed somehow, no matter if it's because of the events, because of the relationships, because of death, because of many other reasons. But characters are changed here. And this was so amazing to watch. Nile standing ovation. I really liked this. And um, yeah, uh, how regretful he feels, how fragile Nile is, how conscious he is of what's going to happen, the way in which he is going to. How can you say in English? I mean, he is going to face his destiny without being ashamed. I mean, no, he is, because he couldn't talk to his family anymore, and he doesn't even know what to say to his family anymore. So for some reason, it's even better if he doesn't meet them, if he doesn't meet his family, because it was even more painful. But for some other reason, he would have liked to meet his family, to say the last goodbye. So the way in which he's teaching Falco this amazing thing that even Erwin told him in season 3 part 1, and this was so amazing. It means that it means that even if people die, like in the case of Erwin, they are still meaningful, because even Erwin told him some precious things, to take care of your family. And now Nile is transmitting the same ideal to Falco. So good job, Erwin. You were not dying in vain. Okay, this was so great. On the other side, Falco, he feels hopeless. Yeah, he doesn't even feel so important, because he says, "Look, I am an alien. They are coming from Marley for me." No, yes, They are coming for you too. Because even if people feel as if they are meaningless, there are always people who care about you. I mean, people who care about you, Falco. So don't think that you're meaningless because you are a great key for this story. It's totally the contrary. And and yeah, it's all thanks to Nile that later he will confess his love to Gabi. So as you can see, we needed to pay attention on thirdly, fourthly, fifthly characters here too, because they are going to change all the events. So great. Then okay, we see John that is going against the Jaegerists. But look, let me tell you, I like the attitude of John when he's saying Jäger sama. I mean, Lord Jäger. That was so nice. I mean, would you like to stop us if we are going to save your Lord Jäger? I mean, I was like, John was incredible with this. And then let me tell you another thing regarding another character, Shadis. Sadis or Shadis or Sadis, Savis, whatever, you understood what I mean. He is found inside a jail. And then when he's meeting Armin, he's meeting Armin, right? Yeah, I think so. Sadis is saying, you can go. I'm going to stay here. Guys, if you remember Sadis' life, the fact that he was connected to Grisha, the fact that he loved Carla, but he couldn't reach her, and the concept of being special. Yeah, because Sadis always tried his best to be special, even if he couldn't be. And in this case, once again, while he's saying to Armin, no, look, you can go ahead, I'm going to stay here. Once again, he is admitting to himself that he is not the special one. And he has to stay there because other people are going to emerge, other people are going to shine, and that's not him. This was so sad too because you understand how this character is still no, okay, he is admitting to himself that he's not special at all, except instead of others, but Sadis, you are special because you were the one who didn't put the ODM gear on Eren, the one that was working, but you were helping Eren training. So anyway, everyone can be special in that cruel world, especially because you are living in that cruel world. That is the same thing that Carla said to him. My son is already special because he is living in this world. And I open a bracket. Yelena, you are a nobody. Oh, look, I'm going against now. Yelena, you are nobody to say that Eren is special. Only Carla or Mikasa in this case, or Armin, can say that he is. So when in the previous episode, Yelena was saying, "Oh, Eren tokubetsu desu ne." Yes, but it's not you that you have the right to say so. Only his mother could say that. He was special enough because he was born in this world, cruel world, I should say. But anyway, yeah, even Sadis was pretty sad to watch his evolution somehow. Yeah. And then, okay, Pixies with his speech. Look, the solemnity. I mean, this speech that was creating this echo inside these walls. I felt it so much, as if we were hearing once again the speeches of all the people passing through season after season after season, always in that same setting. It was a pretty look. I got chills. Yeah. Um, and then, oh, Mikasa and Louise. That scene. Now I'm talking about that. Louise, look, no matter how much you admire Mikasa, no matter, maybe you can have even a feeling for her. Yeah, it could be. But it's pointless because here we are talking about Mikasa. So, no. But I like when Mikasa is putting her scarf away for some reasons that now I'm going to tell you. First reason, because I think that she always thinks that it's because of that scarf that is a way to connect to Eren that she doesn't feel free. I mean, right now, after what Eren told her, and we all know that is wrong, it is fake, but maybe she wants to put the scarf over there to prove herself. Now I want to be free to do everything that I want. I wanted to prove myself that I am free to leave that scarf over there, and I am free from the connection with Eren. I am free to do everything that I want to with my own will. Let's see if I can. I mean, even the fact that she's leaving the scarf over there, it's a way to test herself by doing so. And I really like that. Or maybe she's leaving the scarf over there because she wants to leave her feelings aside for the moment and concentrate, I mean, focus on what's going to happen. Or she wants to leave the scarf over there because she doesn't want it to be destroyed, to be damaged. And it's a way to protect the scarf from all the mess that is about to happen, for all the destruction that is about to happen. So that scarf will stay there and she will come back to get it because that's a way to protect her love, her feelings, her family, her shelter, because that scarf, it's a shelter for her. It's the first shelter, the warm shelter she found around herself after all that happened, after her parents were dying, after she was rescued by Eren. That scarf is a shelter. So now it's better to protect that home, that concept of home, that concept of a shelter, that concept of love. Let's keep it there. But it can be even what I told you, the will to be free from connections, from the things that she's thinking that she's influenced by. And this was so amazing. Oh, yes, Mikasa, go ahead. And then, oh, we go ahead with Yelena. Oh, look, Yelena is the real demon in paradise, in my opinion. Her craziness, her way in which she's idolizing the Jaegers, once again, and especially Zeke, the way in which she is worshipping them, this is so crazy, something that I can't stand. And look, she is the promoter of chaos, she is the promoter of destruction, she's the promoter of this devotion that she has, that is also a contemplation. I mean, she's contemplating the sky while all the zeppelin are crashed down. She is yeah, the incarnation of all this. And she's beautiful because she is like this. I mean, I really like how Isayama is describing her, because this is absolutely crazy. And the way she's yeah, devoting herself to these two people that she's idolizing as if they are gods. I can't stand it. I told you already in the previous episode. But the way in which she's preferring chaos instead of order, the way in which she's preferring war instead of a peace, destruction instead of a regeneration, the way in which she's yeah, worshipping all this, and she's over there, one and only, in the middle of all these fires surrounding her, of all this mess. Wow, I mean, the way Isayama is describing her gives me chills, because I know, okay, when I told you before, we can't take a side. I mean, we can't stay on one side only, etc., etc. Let me tell you, I don't want to stay on Yelena's side. No, this is one of the things that I'm convinced, sincerely. No matter if people say no, we have to put ourselves in all the characters' positions. Sorry to say, I don't want to put myself in Yelena's position. No, this is something I will never do, because I don't like her. I don't like what she's doing. I don't like the way in which she's doing what she's doing. And no, I don't like these characters in general. It can be Yelena, it can be Giovanni, it can be what other names you want to put. No, I don't like. And that's why I'm saying that she's the real demon in paradise right now. I mean, while all the Marlians were trying to define and to give a definition of demons to paradise people, no, look at the real demon right now is Yelena over there. And yeah, I don't like her, but this definition of a chaos that is surrounding her, as if it's something really beautiful. See, the perception, the different perception that we have about things, it's something brilliant, because for some people chaos is beautiful, for some other people chaos is something crazy, something unbelievable, unbelievably wrong. So as you can see, we are all different. That means that there is not a perfect definition of things. There is not a way to say that one is definitely good and the other one is definitely bad, because all people have their own interpretation of things. All people have their own vision of the things they are watching, they are seeing. And all people can create their own imagination, their own interpretation of everything they're watching. Look at Grisha at that time. He was convinced that what he was reading was correct, that it was the only solution possible, that it was the truth. And Grice was telling him, look, how do you know this? Did you read it all? No, I don't read it all. It's obvious. No, see? Everyone have their own beliefs. And in Yelena's case, it's good to believe that chaos is a solution, that the rumbling is the solution of everything, that these two are gods, that these two are the people who are changing history forever, as if we are inside of a cult. Okay, I mean, this is what's happening, but I can't condemn her at the same time, because that's her vision of the world. And at this point, it reminds me one quotation that I read. I don't remember what who said this, if it was Freud or if it was somebody else. But anyways, an important person told this. Who is? I mean, who can say what's good and what's bad, what's crazy and what's not? Who is entitled to tell us if crazy people are really crazy or not? So even in this case, Yelena's point of view, or Yelena's devotion to this chaos, to this destruction of all people killed, died, who cares? Because the most important thing is to worship in Zik and Eren like this, as if she thinks that she knows them. But it's not, because Yelena has this problem. She was rescued by Zeke, and she believed everything Zeke said because she was rescued by him. She is always so sure about what people are telling her, about how people are behaving, about what she sees externally. And in fact, what happens later with Armin is the same thing. She is so sure of herself, of her feelings, of her instincts, of her perceptions, but they are wrong. So, as you can see, she is also a victim of her own beliefs, once again, because she believes that she knows Zeke, but okay, no. She believes she knows Eren, but no, because in the previous episode, it confirms to her that she doesn't know him. She thinks that she knows Armin, but she doesn't, because Armin is just tricking her, and she doesn't even realize that for 2 times in a row. So, as you can see, she has this veil in front of her eyes, and she's just perceiving what she really thinks that, in her opinion, is wrong, is correct, is good, but it's wrong. So, this is really interesting to always see characters like this, that they are so convinced, they are too convinced about their actions, their beliefs, their thoughts, everything, but they are not, because we, as external viewers, omniscient viewers, we already know that Armin was just pretending to say things like this to her, and she believed it. So yeah, I feel so sorry for Yelena. I don't like her, and at this point, I don't want to be in her position, because we see how she's easily tricked by everything that other people are saying. So poor her, sincerely. If she's happy, good for her, but I'm not happy for her. I'm just so sorry for her at this point. Um, and then she also believes that Levi and Hanji, they are dead, just because she can't see them over there. And this is wrong once again, because they are alive, and you will see. So once again, Yelena, you are wrong. You are too convinced that Zeke killed them. No, they are not. They are still alive. But you're too self confident on Zeke. Just because he saved your life, that doesn't mean that everything is taken for granted. But in her vision of things, he is the savior. And we go back to what Magath said at the beginning of this episode. People always need the figure of a savior, the figure of a person who's saving the world. And for Yelena, that person was Zeke. Zeke was the savior of her life. So she has to be grateful to him forever, as if she signed a contract, a pact with the devil in this case, okay? But she always has to be devoted because of this. But this is wrong, because if Zeke is doing something wrong, you can't accept it just because he saved your life. This is something stupid. This is why I don't like her, because I would have not behaved like her. I can be grateful as much as you want because you saved my life. Thank you so much. But if you wanted to exterminate an entire population, how am I supposed to say, that's great, let's go ahead with this? No, not at all. Anyway, oh, and then once again, see, Armin and his greatness. He was there to try to convince Yelena, something that happened actually, for the second time in a row. The first time was in part one, when he was faking crying. Oh, I'm so, how can I say? I'm so amazed from your speech, Yelena. And she believed it. Thank you, Armin. I trust you. If you knew, okay. And now she's tricked for the second time. Because Armin is saying, oh, la, 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 let's pretend, yeah, let's stay to the Jägerist side, yeah. But The face that she's making is terrifying. That's why I'm saying Yelena right now is the only demon in Paradise, the real one. That demonic face that is showing these, once again, dualism, these two personalities that they are shown to you. One external one, that means never judge from the cover of a book. Do you know this? I mean, in Italy we say it, non giudicare un libro dalla copertina. The same. Don't judge a book from the cover. Yes, because Yelena, no matter how much she is smiling, she's so cute to others. Oh yeah, thank you. No, she killed the people too. She is making that demonic face. That's her real nature. I mean, no matter the smile that she's making after, that is creating a nightmare to not to Armin's mind, but that's her real nature. That is well modified externally because she has to gain approvals from others, and she always did it. Try to imagine all the people she killed before reaching Paradise. Do you remember? Even Onyankopon was saying it, I guess, that she was killing others before. Maybe she was killing them with the same face. Try to imagine all those poor military men who were killed with that face. But when she arrived in Paradise, oh, thank you. Look, we wanted to have an agreement with you. This double face, look, even if it's not related to this, but in Japan, we have these. I mean, we have honne and tatemae. You can find it on Google if you want, if you tap it. Honne and tatemae, they are the two sides of your personality. The side you want, you decide to show in front of others, in front of society, and the side you decided to show your real self just for closer ones, or just to be yourself. This is what Yelena is doing, more or less, even if, okay, it's a little bit different, but this concept that Isayama is bringing here is that never judge a book from the cover, because then you can be surprised or terrified, like in the case of Armin. But once again, Armin saved the situation. If Armin was not there, everything would have been different. So thank you, Armin, to be there. Thank you, because by being chosen, you could go ahead and you could save your friends. So saving Armin was a great choice, in my opinion, once again. And not, look, not because he's the Chogata, not because he's the colossal titan. I like Armin because, as always, he is doing everything thanks to his mind. And it's even better. I mean, this quality he has makes him become even bigger than the proportion of the Chogata. He doesn't need to use the colossal titan. He is already colossal here, and this is really different from other titans. So I'm so happy that he was rescued. Then, then there is one thing that I wanted to say. It's a theory at this point that I have for the next episodes coming. Colt, I mean, Gabi is describing, is describing, is asking for a weapon. And Colt is this, they are behind the corner. They are waiting for Falco coming. But Colt is describing Gabi, this weapon. And he's saying that this weapon is great somehow, because it doesn't need that it reaches the behind the neck of a titan. This weapon can be used to defeat the titans no matter where you are hitting them. This is what I understood. So now I have my theory, based also on the trailer. because on the trailer, in the trailer, we see that Gabi has a huge weapon. I mean, she's going to use a huge weapon. Is this the weapon that you're talking about together with Colt? At this point, yes. But in this case, by judging looking from the trailer, she's going to use this weapon to hit one of the Titans. So at this point, this is a theory, but yeah, Gabi is going to use this weapon against Eren or against Zeke, because they are the main target. Let's see who is. I mean, which one of the two she's going to use it against. But yeah, Gabi, she's going to repeat this shooting moment. And every time Gabi is essential in these moments, because even for Sasha, we see that she was the one killing Sasha and she was the one shooting. So even in this case, Gabi will shoot someone, in this case, Eren or Zeke. And let's see what's going to happen, because she, from what I understood, she can shoot or the head or any other part of the body, and she's going to kill the Titan. But by knowing, I mean, by understanding, but not because of the opening, but by understanding that this story can't end like this. I mean, no matter if she's shooting Zeke, no matter if she's shooting Eren, I don't think it's going to work, because the rumbling has to come. Not because of the opening, but because you understand that this thing has to come. So I can't wait to see who is she going to shoot, and who and which of the two is going to survive. This is pretty interesting. But at this point, if they don't want them to meet, and if Zeke later is going to say, Eren, I think she's going to shoot Eren at this point, or Zeke, one of the two. But anyway, they don't. She doesn't want them to meet, so one of the two has to be shot. But I don't understand later what's going to happen, and this is really interesting. Close the bracket. And then once again, Nile is back with another important scene that is going to change the story once again, because Nile is betraying the role that he is having, also because he knows that he's going to die. So no regrets anymore. Let's do what I want. This is so amazing. But he's betraying these military forces because at the end of the day, before dying, he realized that the most important thing is to stay with your family. That the most important thing is not war, is not creating wars, is not everything that he has done so far. The most important thing is to have a place to go back to have family on your side. And also because of the fact that he couldn't have the chance to go back to his family, because now he is going to be transformed into Titan while Zeke will scream. We all know this from the trailer that he will scream. So, but anyway, the fact that he's doing these last great things so he can redeem himself for all the things he has done before, and to, yes, repent for all the things he did so far, but also to redeem himself from knowing that he would have had spent more time with his family, but he couldn't. This is so great. I like when people, even before dying, even before knowing that they will die, they find the way to redeem themselves, to understand what their mistakes were, and to try to repay those mistakes by doing something great to others. This is the best way to redeem yourself and to find peace inside your consciousness. I think Nile was doing something incredibly great. And the fact, and here we are We are starting with the next scene. Gabi preferred to stop Colt from shooting. This, together with the previous sentences she said, but this was something great because instinctively Gabi did that. But then when she was asked why, she couldn't explain it. And this is the best way to understand that sometimes words can't match with the feelings. You can't explain what you're doing because I did it instinctively. I didn't even think. She stopped the thinking and she was using her heart this time. Because if she is using her head, I mean, if she is using reason, she is going to betray her feelings that she's feeling right now. So for the first time, Gabi is doing something really amazing. She is saying, I'm stopping using reason. I prefer to use my instinct, my heart. And this was so great. I really loved this moment because finally we see that Gabi, without thinking, she has already chosen. And this was, oh, okay. I was waiting for this moment in which Gabi could change because I was definitely convinced that this moment was about to happen. It was just about time. And in part one, I felt so sorry that she couldn't make this gap or to jump right after to make a step forward, but she made it now. And never say never. I mean, it's never too late to change, but the most important thing is to change. So no matter if it takes years or just months or days, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you can give yourself the chance to change. And Gabi made it this time, absolutely. And then, yeah, when Nile is saying, yeah, last thing, when Nile is saying, this is not a place for kids, go home. Oh, yeah, this was so great because once again, Falco and Gabi had the proof that what they were doing throughout their existence since the beginning was totally wrong. I mean, they were put, thanks to adults, into war. And they thought that this was good. But Nile, thanks to that sentence, remarked them that this is not good. That kids, or even adults, of course, but in this case, kids shouldn't go to war, shouldn't be part of war, shouldn't be protagonists of war. They should stay home, they should stay safe. And other people should protect them, not the contrary. In this situation, Gabi, Falco, Zofia, Udo, they were protecting adults. But in this episode, Nile told them, we made mistakes here. We should protect you from these mistakes, not you. And oh, Nile, look, I could talk about this for hours, but you understood what I mean. And this was so amazing. Oh, good job, Nile. You made a great job as your last thing, as your last chance. Simply amazing. And then, ta ta ta. In fact, there is the question from Colt: why did you trust the enemy? And here, look, guys, she's hearing the voices of Sasha's parents and the kids that they were adopted by Sasha's parents. But when Gabi is hearing Sasha's mom's voice talking about her and Ben, that means Falco, she was getting emotional. And the way in which she was getting emotional makes you understand how she was involuntary. I mean, without her consent, because she stopped thinking, as I told you before. But she was creating an attachment to these people. She didn't want to, but she did it at the end of the day. And this was really nice to see because you can't control your feelings. Even if other people are imposing you things, you can't control your feelings. So what happened to Gabi is this. Even if she was reluctant to them, even if she was pushing them away, even if she was hating them from the bottom of her heart, unexpectedly, she created a bond. And even if she didn't admit it to herself, she admitted it in this episode. And this was so great. Um, and also because she knows that Sasha's parents, who are supposed to hate her, they are still thinking about her. And this makes you feel in the wrong position because how is it possible? But see, Gabi, it is possible. It depends how human beings react to all this. And Sasha's dad, even if it's something a little bit unnatural that he was saying something like this, that way to not condemn Gabi for what she did was the best way to react in this cruel world. If all people behave like this, then this cruel world is gone. But there are people who can do this, and there are people who can't do this. So this cruel world is not ending. Once again, I tell you. But and these Sasha's parents are like the family that she didn't search for because she has a family, the family she didn't want to have, but anyway, she has it. And this is so beautiful. I think that what Gabi is discovering is that they loved her not because of where she was coming from, not because she was supposed to have a role as a soldier or as a warrior, not because they love her, not because she was forced to do something like this in order to become an honorific Marlian. She is loved by them because it's something spontaneous, because people don't have to explain love if they feel it. And in this case, Gabi was really lucky. And that's why I tell you once again this. That is the same thing that I told you many months before. I hope that Gabi will survive and she decides to live with Sasha's parents. Or, I mean, that Falco and her are going to stay with them because that was the place in which they were really loved at the end of the day, where there was a place for another person to eat all together the supper, where there was a place to stay all together, where it was not important where you were coming from, the place in which it was not important if they were soldiers or not, they were kids. So I really hope that they can stay together. Then she feels emotional, but then Kaya. Kaya. I really loved Kaya in part one because she was helping Gabi to open her eyes. And even if it lasted a little bit of days or months or whatever, it reached Gabi's heart. So what Kaya was doing in part one was really useful. And even if it didn't touch Gabi since the beginning, it was useful. So thank you, Kaya. But what she said, that she wants to kill her no matter what, that's a way to go back inside the loop of revenge, a loop of pain that is creating revenge. And anyway, revenge is creating pain too. So, Kaya, don't do the mistake to go inside of it once again. Remember what you said in part one, because otherwise it's a little bit incoherent. I know you feel pain. Yes, I imagine this. But if you, Kaya, really wanted to kill Gabi, it means that you're not going to stop what you were supposed to stop in part one because it was meaningless in your opinion, right? Even if, yeah, Gabby killed Sasha, but there has to be a way to stop all this. And Gabby is already ready to stop all this, to stop all the thoughts she has or she had, and to start something new. So it's really up to you. And if you accept her, oh, this is a way to be superior. This is a way to start something that even Sasha would have agreed. So go ahead, please. Otherwise, everything like this was meaningless so far. But once Kaya is saying all these bad things, Gabby is becoming sad. So she cares. So once again, she is using her heart as a response, not the reason. Not the reason. I mean, not her thoughts, initial thoughts. And this is a difference because Gabi could have gone out. If we were in part one at the beginning, Gabi would have gone out from the way they were hiding, etc., the place they were hiding, and she was saying, "Oh, okay, kill me. Come on, let's see if you can kill me." But she's not doing this. She is different because this world changed her. And I'm so happy to see this difference. The spoiled girl, the presumptuous girl, the girl that was better than everyone, the girl that was supposed to save the world, la la la, is gone. And what's left is a person now that is using feelings instead of brainwash things, instead of impositions. Feelings are emerging. And Gabi, come on, if you go on like this, you are simply great. Keep going on with this flow because you are going to make people love you instead of hate you. Okay, it was really stupid to hate a character like a Gabi because I couldn't stand her at the beginning, but as I was telling you, I was wishing for this moment to come and I was so happy that it came. Oh, guys, and then what she's saying. Look, I wrote them down here, so I'm going to read 1 second. They were not demons, they were just people. Reiner was right. I mean, I agree or I understand what Reiner is feeling right now. Because let me tell you honestly, now she is understanding what Reiner felt and feels and how Reiner was feeling there. I mean, in Paradise, they found what in Marley or Liberio, or call it as much as you like, couldn't find. In Paradise, they could find people who cared about them, people who didn't send them to war, people who praised them, people who took care of them, people who gave them food even if they didn't know where they were coming from. I mean, in Paradise, Gabi and Reiner, as much as Falco too, but they could find feelings. In Marley, Liberio, etc., they could find just impositions, just beliefs, fake thoughts, but there was not love. Look at Karina, look at Gabi's parents. Good job, you went to war. Yes, you made it. I'm so proud of you. This is wrong. This is something ridiculous, something stupid. But on the other side, Gabi, Rainer, Falco, they found people who gave them food, people who gave them a shelter, friends, I mean, a friendship. But in this case, Gabi didn't want to become friend, but there was the possibility. They found love. They found peace. They found something that they couldn't even imagine. So when Gabi is saying these sentences right now in the episode, I was so overwhelmed. I mean, I was so happy to hear these sentences from her because, yeah, I'm pretty sure that if, because of other people, they couldn't live things like this, I mean, the things they lived, they could have been all happy together. And this is the best shame of this story. If previous generations didn't create all this mess, now the new generations were free to be what the F they wanted to be. So, yeah, I'm so happy right now with what Gabi is saying. Good job, girl. You made it. No matter the time you spent, or no matter how much time it took, you reached the point. So all these new thoughts make her become mature. She's growing and she's changing, because this world, okay, it's cruel. Yes, we all know this. But once again, but it's also so beautiful. Why in this case? It's cruel because Gabi became a warrior. Gabi killed the people, and because she was put over there to do so, and she was brainwashed, she was everything, I mean, everything we all know. But the world is also beautiful because the world gave her the chance to meet the great people, to meet the people who could change her mind, and the people who could have let her, but let them, because there is Falco too, grow. So this sentence is always there, is always there with us. The world is cruel, but is also really beautiful. And then they are in a specific place. You don't have to forget the setting. They are inside a room with lots of cages. And then there is one cage that is opened. That means that it can have a more than one interpretation. Okay, from my perspective, these are just my thoughts. I'm not here to be an expert of anything. I'm just telling you what I feel. One interpretation, I mean, one is opened and all the others are still closed. One interpretation is that Gabi finally released herself from the cage she was in, and this is so amazing. While all the others, that means all the Marlians outside, that are keep fighting on Paradise, or all the people on the other side of the ocean, that they are still thinking so bad things about Paradise and things like this, they are still inside the cage because they are not thinking freely. They are just pressed. They are still contained. The other interpretation is that this doesn't regard to Gabi only, but it regards to Falco too, because Falco, right now, sooner after, he is releasing his feelings once for all without being ashamed. Who cares? Let's say it. Thank you, Niall, for this. So, Falco in Italian is a hawk, that is this huge bird, right? And Falco could be released from the cage too, because now he's not ashamed anymore. He takes all the responsibility of what he did, and he is not ashamed to say, listen, I love you, okay? So this can be another interpretation. And in fact, the others are still closed, the other cages, because the people outside the outside Paradise, on the other side of ocean, they are still imprisoned because of their beliefs, because of their thoughts, with some rules that have to be respected all over again. The third one is, the third interpretation is that anyway, there is always a way to go out. It depends if you want or not. If you want to be free, you can find your way to be free, but it depends on you. It depends on your will. Otherwise, you will not be able to do so. And in fact, the people who keep preferring believing in those thoughts as usual, etc., 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 their cage is still closed. If people don't want to change their minds because they prefer to keep going on thinking the same things, their cage is closed. People who are going to change, the cage is open. People who prefer to follow their feelings no matter what, the cage is open. All the people who have a goal and they wanted to pursue it, I mean, they want to go on fighting for this, the cage is open. People who want to be themselves without impositions, they are free. They can go. Then, if this is going to create something good or something bad, it can happen. There is always the risk. But if you are yourself, the best thing to be free is to be yourself. And if the world doesn't give you the chance to be free, you should find your own way to be free. And look, that cage that was open and all the others, they were still closed. That was simply amazing. I love the symbolism here. Absolutely. Uh, and of course, who is, no, I mean, what is inside the cage? The bird. The bird that represents the freedom. The bird that can represent even falco, because as I told you, in Italian language, falco means hawk. So maybe there was a way to anticipate that falco was about to release himself from this cage and he was about to be free forever till the last moment. Look, I'm going to become a titan. I'm going to die. I'm going to this. I'm going before dying. Thank you, Nail. It's better to spill out all the tea, to tell all of the feelings you have for the people you love, because time is running. I mean, the importance of time in Shingeki no Kyojin is essential. When you know that you have time, don't regret it later. Say it now. Do it now because it has to be done now. Otherwise, later, it's a mess. You're going to regret. And in fact, I think even Grisha, a character like Grisha, if he's still having a little bit of intelligence, and I hope so, okay, he's dead, but if he could, I hope that he would have regretted all he did to his kids, because this was ridiculous. This was so bad. So, as you can see, if you have time to regret, say it louder. I regret. If you have feelings for a person but you feel ashamed, who cares? Say it. There's nothing you can lose. There's nothing to lose. At least you were honest to yourself and to the people in front of you. So this is a way to be free, to say what you really want to say, to do what you really want to do. And if you lose this chance, it might not come again. So why losing the chance for nothing? It's better to say it. Definitely. So good job. Good job. Then going back to Gabi, she understands the loop because definitely Gabi, now she's understanding the loop of everything, the loop of revenge, the loop of violence, the loop of killing people and people and people. I mean, the loop of hatred. She's understanding everything, and she's a teenager. I mean, a teenager can understand it and adults can't. This is the big loss, I guess, of humanity. When kids and teenagers can understand the things and adults can't, humanity has lost already. And this is pretty sad. Because if Falco, if Gabi, if Kaya understood these things, why can't all the others think the same? If they thought the same already, all the problems were solved. But this is too good to be true, of course. And it's just thanks to suffering that people can change. It's not thanks to happiness that people can change their mind. So that's why Even if it's bad to say, but we need a cruel world sometimes. Otherwise, we can't go ahead. We can't grow. And it's bad to say, I know this. But the thing is that it's thanks to mistakes that we can learn. Then it depends on the mistake, of course, but and sometimes we don't even need the mistakes to understand this, but we are too reluctant to think different, because if we think different, it means that we are the devil or we are crazy, right? Because other people are spreading these thoughts about us. No, no. And then Gabi is saying sorry to Falco. Have you ever heard Gabi saying sorry to someone? No, she was the perfect one. She was the number one. She was the first of the class. She was always on top. And for her, it was something incredible or something stupid or something crazy to say sorry to someone. I was like, oh, okay. That was really amazing because it makes her become mature. She's grown. So, should we say, even if it's wrong to say, okay, but just try to follow me, okay? Was Sasha's death necessary? I mean, at this point, was Sasha's death useful for Gabi to change her mind, even if it's wrong, because Gabi should have understood before this that what she was doing was wrong. But is this death essential, necessary, and useful for Gabi to grow and to be a better person? This is something antithetical. Yes, it's something atypical and something wrong to say. I mean, we don't have to kill a person to understand that we were wrong. No, no. But in this story, because this is a fiction, this is something fantastic, fantasy, okay? It's not happening for real. Or if we have to take examples from real life, are wars necessary for people to understand their mistakes? It should have been like this, but it's not. I mean, in our real world, no matter the wars they are making, they keep going on making them. So we understand that no matter how many wars they made, they still didn't understand. But was this death useful to Gabi? Hmm. And then we go back to Falco. Falco is regretting, I mean, he is feeling guilty because he helped Eren in part one. He feels the culprit of everything because he didn't send the letters instead of Eren. They could have prevented Liberio's attack, etc. Yes, but no. Falco, you shouldn't feel guilty for this because you, Falco, are a kid. And this is not your fault. This is the result of what adults do. I mean, you are the result of all the bad things adults did. So it's not your problem. It's not your fault. The fault is the fault of all the generations who kept spreading all these things, and we reached this moment here. So adults are the culprit. Previous generations are the culprit, not kids, because kids, they are just victims of what old generations are spreading through them, not the contrary. So Falco helped Eren not because he was wrong by doing this, but because he was generous. He was kind. That's it. I understand his feelings, but I don't agree with this because if we remember what Sasha's dad said about the forest, And when he said that we adults should keep kids away from the forest. It's our fault that we put kids in the forest. And that's why I don't think that Falco is the culprit here. Not at all. It's because of what happened previously. And this has nothing to do with Falco. Has nothing to do with Falco. Absolutely. Um, and then Falco declares his love to Gabi. I'm so happy for that. And Eren, you should take inspiration from this. But sometimes um, I find as if Falco is a new Eren. I mean, Falco is like a mini Eren sometimes. For example, in his confession, he said that he wanted to become a Titan instead of her because he wanted to protect her, because he didn't want to put her in danger. Okay, in this case, Gabi wanted to become the armored Titan, but then Falco kept Reiner's promise to avoid this, blah, blah, blah. But this reminds me Eren. Eren, who decided to kill those men to protect Mikasa. Eren, who, by being a Titan, always decides to protect Mikasa, like in season 1, for example. So this reminds me as if he's a mini, tiny, tiny Eren. But also when he says, I wanted to become a Titan, the armor Titan, because I want you to have a long life. So even in this case, Falco is saying the same thing Eren told him, but also the same thing that Eren told his friends during that sunset scene in part 1. Do you remember? I want you to have a long life. So nobody is going to inherit my titans. So as you can see, Falcon and Eren, they have lots of things in common, definitely. And even if Eren right now is on another path, I think that when Eren talked to Falco that day while sitting on the bench, he could recognize a little bit of himself in him. And that's why he was wishing him to have a long life. But I'm pretty sure that Eren already knows that Falco is going to survive, that Falco is going to have a future life somehow. So, yeah, absolutely. Okay, last things. Going back to Gabi, when she's taking away the armband from Falco, even if that armband is different, because that armband, the black armband means that Falco drank the wine. I mean, drank the wine. Yeah, he drank somehow. But for Gabi's point of view, when she's getting rid of that armband from Falco, it's like as if she is a step forward from part 1. Because in part 1, if you remember, when they reached Paradise, she was saying to Falco, don't take away that armband because we have to be proud of what we are. That means honorific Marlians, or what she wanted to become. But in this case, Gabi is tired of that armband. Gabi is tired to see that they have something here on the arm. And the way she was ripping it and get reading of it, that was really awesome, because it's like as if she was getting rid of her thoughts in part 1. And this was so great. You can really see the difference of before and after, of I don't want to say innocence, but because it's not, but this is something that I really liked to see, because it was a difference of a personality, a difference of thoughts, a difference of thinking. Everything was different in Gabi, and that was the hugest success she could gain. That's why Good job. Even the armband, yeah. That means, as if Gabi was saying, I'm tired of this armband. I'm tired of this reality we are living in. Let's go. That was so beautiful. And once again, going back to the cage, the one cage that is open, yes, she was doing this to let Falco be free from armbands, to let them be free from impositions. Even the fact that they had to put the armband every single day, they had to prove that they are aliens. Who cares? We are people. And that was so nice, yo. So nice. Then Colt is saying something else. He's saying, as much as he's anticipating, in my opinion, we saw it from the trailer. As if he's anticipating the fact of the weapon that Gabi is going to use to shoot or Eren or Zeke. We still have to understand. I still have to understand because you already know the answer. But Colt is anticipating another thing that might happen, because at this point he's saying, "Oh, if we tell Zeke, Mamma mia." I feel so sorry for Colt because he is too innocent to believe something like this, but okay. Um, Colt is saying, "Oh, now we will go to Zeke. We will tell him that you drank, so maybe he will stop by doing." Colt, Colt. Okay, you were supposed to inherit the Kimono no Kyojin. The Zeke's Titan, the monster Titan. Oh, cos'è? Kimono, sì, monster. How do you believe that, that Zeke is going to stop after he reached this moment just because of you or just because of a Falco? He is going to stop all this. You needed to understand, dear Colt. I feel so sorry for you because, of course, I would have thought the same if I think that the Zeke cares about me. But Zeke, by being a traitor already, how is he supposed to care about you? It's impossible, first of all. But second of all, from Zeke's point of view, he's going to help you. From Zeke's point of view, Zeke, who wants to exterminate all the aliens with this euthanasial. I forgot the word eutha, euthanasical plan. Okay, you understood what I mean. Zeke's plan. I will find the word for next time, so I will not make a mistake anymore. But Zeke wants to fulfill his goal, so he wants you to be free. In his mind, if we erase all aliens, everything is great because he is helping you not to suffer anymore. So how are you supposed? Okay, Colt doesn't know Zeke's plan. Of course he doesn't. But Colt, how do you think that Zeke made all this struggling? He struggled a lot, and now he wants to save Falco, or he hopes that Falco goes away. But no, of course no. Oh my. So, in the end of the episode, we see that Falco, Colt, and Gabi are running. Don't tell me that now Colt wants to go under, no, under, because now he fell, Zeke. Don't tell me that now Colt wants to go to Zeke to say, listen, can you stop because Falco drank the. Oh my, of course not. He will never stop the. I'm talking about Zeke. No, it will go against his plan. And second of all, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about Falco and Colt, not at all. So the answer for me is no. And at this point, If Falco doesn't run, he will transform into Titan. And this is something that I didn't want to happen. I told you even in the trailer, oh no, I don't want, no, 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 no. Oh no way. Or if Falco is transformed into Titan, and then he is going to eat a porco, for example, or Rainer, because Rainer is going to be killed anyway. I told you already, Rainer will not survive. He is already well aware of this, in my opinion. But if he is going to eat porco, for example, it means that Falco will become a Titan. I mean, not a Titan, an intelligent Titan, the new Joe Titan, or the new no, but he wants actually he wants to be the armored Titan. So he can protect Gabi, and he made that promise to Reiner. I mean, to Reiner, he made the promise that he was going to become the new armored Titan. No F way. So Falco will become the new Reiner. Oh my. And what about Gabi? I mean, Falco is going to eat Reiner. And what's Gabi's reaction? Because Gabi will be there. No F way. Oh my, 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 my. Oh my. Oh, no, please, I'm going to. Oh, no, no, no. At this point, I hope that he is going to eat Galliard. Yes. Look, let me tell you, even if I know that Reiner will die somehow, but I don't hope that he's going to be eaten by Falco, because, oh, maybe at this point, Gabi can think, but it's better if he was eaten by Falco instead of others. Because anyway, Falco is going to collect all the memories of Reiner anyway. So it's like as if Reiner is still living inside of a Falco. It can be. But there is another huge problem. That's why I didn't want Falco to become a Titan in this case. The fact that he has 13 years. And it means that he will die anyway. Like Armin. There is this huge question mark if we can save Armin and Falco once Eren will be gone. Or they still perpetrate the fact that they have these 13 years. A mess. A mess. But anyway, Zeke is not going to agree, eh? I tell you already. No. I think he's going to laugh instead. I mean, he's going to say, haha, do you think that I struggled so far for you to save you? Come on. No. Then, last scenes. Zeke is still thinking that Eren has the same dream. Look, Zeke, the answer from my point of view is no. And I'm so sorry for you because you still believe so. You still believe so. And but in my opinion, they have different dreams. And then, listen this one. This was one of my thoughts while I was writing them. He believes that Peak is gone. This was something crazy. I mean, I also didn't expect this. How is Zeke supposed to believe that Peak is gone? Peak, who was always recognized as the strategy titan. Peak, who was always next to him everywhere, and they were planning strategy together. They were partners in crime, let's say. How Zeke is supposed to believe so? This means that Zeke has never created any bond with anybody because, of course, he already planned this thing many years before. But at the same time, it makes you understand how fragile this bond in the Liberio, I mean, in the other area, how these bonds were fragile. Because Zeke, no matter how much time he spent together with the Pig in lots of missions, and she was always there, and he knew the type of Titan that she was, and he knew the fact that if she was a pure strategy personified, he was tricked by just seeing the bones over there. I mean, the skeleton. Come on, Zeke, you're blind. I mean, okay that you have your plan in your mind and that's it, but these things, come on. I was so surprised to see that Zeke believed that Pig was gone. No, come on, this is ridiculous. No, 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 no. But this make, I told you already, this makes you understand that the bonds in paradise, they were stronger. I mean, what Peak says, when even in part one says, ah, no, look, I trust, I don't trust Marley, but I trust the comrades, that I could create a bond with them. I mean, that I know them. I mean, this is the proof that even Zeke was tricked by this, but come on. The difference is in bonds. No matter the Gabi and Falco's bond, but that type of bond is a natural bond. Okay, I mean it's something that it's creating automatically, spontaneously. Okay, but I'm talking about the team when they work together. The Paradise chose ahead on the team, or the Paradise side, they still trust. There is still a trust in their abilities and what they can create as a strategy as a team. But in Liberio, come on. That was really sad to see, yeah? And then, oh yes, I found these also on internet, but it confirmed my idea. I was so happy to think something like this. So when I confirmed this, that other people thought the same thing, I was like, well, when Zeke is attacked, the sneak attack, perfecto game da. I mean, once again, Erwin is back. I mean, throughout all this episode, I told you all the times in which Erwin was more alive than before. The way in which Zeke is attacked, the same, almost the same as what Erwin felt when he was attacked. I was like, oh, because once again, you understand that what goes around comes around. I mean, karma is ruling. And when you do bad things to others, they may return in the same way. And in fact, here Zeke was attacked more or less like Erwin. And oh, I like Isayama when he does things like this, because I believe so. I mean, I believe in what goes around comes around. And see, Zeke, you were so almighty in season 3, part 2, by defeating Erwin that he was having this suicide attack, right? But now it was your turn. Even if, okay, he will survive and Erwin is not, but that was the perfect way to repay Zeke attacking Erwin in the same spot, because they were always there in Shiganshina. Something majestic. And the way he's falling down from the walls, from the middle of the walls. I call it the middle because it's a little bit different, that spot, instead of the rest of the walls. But when you see him going down, as much as Annie went down in season one, as much as if even the chief of Titans, as he seemed to be before, I mean, as if he was before, he's falling. As if everything is ruined for real. No more cooperation with the pig. No more cooperation with the porco. No more cooperation with the Reiner. He is no more the boss of everyone. He fell. And he fell because of who? I mean, thanks to who? Magato. I mean, Megadeth. I mean, Mamma mia, that was a great scene. That was a great scene. Of course, he is not dead because in the trailer we see that he's saying, "Hey, come here." Okay, so he's not dead, but and Yelena, welcome to reality. Once again, I tell you, you don't know things. They are not gods. Stop thinking that they are gods. They are just the human beings with the supernatural powers, not because they want it, but because they were forced from the conditions or from other people's choice. So they are not God, Yelena. So it's pointless that you, as if, oh no, I thought that they couldn't being attacked ever. Come on. I mean, ah, that was really awesome anyway. What goes around comes around. And Eren, that is looking at him like this, it's not because he's scared of Zeke. I mean, it's not, from my perspective, this is my opinion, but he is not afraid to lose Zeke as a brother, older step brother, okay? He's not afraid of this. He is afraid to lose him because otherwise he can't get in touch with Ymir. That's it. But he is not scared, or he doesn't care about Zeke as much as Zeke thinks that he cares, or as much as Zeke cares about him, maybe. Because as I told you, from Zeke's point of view, I mean, Eren and Zeke were only child. I mean, yeah, they were only child. But Eren's parents were not behaving like Zeke's parents. Okay, even if the father is in common, but the behavior was different. So for Zeke is so great, and this is why I see this human side of Zeke, because Zeke, he is so fragile. He really wanted to create a bond with the only member of his family that he still has. That means Eren. But Eren, from Eren's point of view, I don't think he cares. He is just afraid because without Zeke, where is Historia? No, but without Zeke, he can't reach Ymir. That's why he made this special expression, in my opinion. Then, if he cares about Zeke, I will tell you that I was wrong. And then the tension that you feel, da, 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 everyone is running, yeah, Aaron is trying to reach Zeke. I really like these moments because in these moments of tension, you know, there's something great is about to happen. And in fact, next week, next Sunday, woohoo, okay. And one thing, last thing, is what Reiner is saying to Eren in the last moment. I mean, in the last frame, probably. When he is saying that sentence that he repeated it also in season 2, once he discovered that Eren was the Shiso. And he was saying, from between all the people I could imagine, to have this sort of power, the only one who I didn't want this to have is you, Eren. In season 2, maybe he thought like this because cacchio. I mean, with all the people that there could have been that had the Shiso, Eren, that is the person who admired me for first from from day one. The person that was caring about me and I made the betrayal. I mean, all that. Now, that same sentence has great importance because even Reiner knows that Eren, is going to reach that goal and there is no turning back. I mean, if in season two there was still the imagination, I mean, the belief that Eren could have been stopped and things like that, blah, blah, blah. Now there is no turning back. If Eren is touching Zeke, the end of the world is coming. The end of the world that they know is coming. So this was really awesome. Yeah, Isayama is a genius. I really like when he repeats things and they have maybe a different meaning from that moment going on. But these mirror the scenes with the season 3 part 2, with the season 2, all these are things that I told you. Wow, almost 3 hours. So sorry for that, but I had to analyze everything from deep inside my heart. Otherwise, you don't understand my feelings. Otherwise, you don't understand why maybe I'm reacting somehow in a different way or some ways during the reaction. So it was really nice. But now, really, really quick, I'm going to rewatch it. So you're going to, let's see. Okay, I already opened it. So we are going to rewatch it really quick and then sayonara because this was my comeback and all the videos. Yeah, I tell you once again, all the videos will come back really soon on the channel. This is the first live streaming that I make with my new computer. Thank you so much for waiting for me. And now let's rewatch. I will come back really, really soon. Today I'm going to check the hard disk thing. So let's see. Okay, I can skip the first part because it's the same thing that happened in part in the previous episode. I'm starting from here. Yeah.
そんなクソ野郎を俺は寝たんだ。かっこよかったから。死ぬほどムカつくことだから。
John。
俺はまだ奴に死んでほしくねえ。まあ、このまま死なれたらあいつをぶん殴れねえしな。行こう。さあ、俺から離れないで。
John, yes. John.
エレンが真意を隠しているとして私たちを突き放すのはどうしてなの？私のことが嫌いってなんでそんなことエレンは言うの？
Because he loves you. Oh my. Now I'm commenting.
向こうにいる敵全部殺せば俺たち自由になれるのか。
This face of Eren, melancholic, they're so great.
まさか。
少なくともミカサがよく頭を痛そうにしてたことなんてエレンも僕も
ア
昔から知ってた。
Armin.
嘘をもっともらしくするために利用した。無理やりついた嘘だからね。エレンに全て終わった後で聞いてみたらいい。
If we ask Eren later, why did you say something like this? Oh no, never mind.
忘れるな。この奇襲作戦はリリー・タイバーの犠牲の上にある。彼が命をとして伝えたように、我々には真の英雄ヘイロスが必要なのだ。世界を救う英雄が。エレン。もういい。お前の負けだ。
Not yet.
これ以上誰も苦しめなくていい。これ以上 苦しまなくていい。
そうですね。そうですね。その通りです。I'm responding to the comments.
お前は何のために戦っている。何のために。
そうですね。アーミン、このままよかったね。生きてるね。本当によかった。
エレン、俺はもう終わりにしたい。俺とお前のどこが同じなんだ。もういいだろう。もう眠れ。来たか。上位の子。ちょっと遅れたが、なんとか約束の場所にたどり着いた。よく一人で取れたな。エレン、あとはお兄ちゃんに任せろ。
Rumbling. Let's change the tone, bro. Coming for you. All I ever wanted to do was do the right things. I never wanted to be the king. I swear. All I ever wanted to do was save your life. I never wanted to grab a knife. I swear. Tearless, fearless, burning, burning. Don't tell me what have I missed. Still wandering in the deep mist. If I lose it all, slip and fall, I will never look away. If I lose it all, lose it all, lose it all. If I lose it all outside a wall, let you die another day. I don't want anything, I'm just here to break free. Ba-da-da. Okay. Great music, a great choice. The Suicide Attack comes back. Na, na, na. ありがとうね。
車力を発電しろ。
I get chills.
静か、獣の方に。
ありがとうございますね。ここを見てくれてありがとう、本当に。すごく大変。今3時間ぐらいかかったけど。ありがとう、本当。
お前は南にある撤退時の飛行船まで行くんだ。
いや、私も行く。私はファルコを巻き込んだ。あげく何度も助けられた。
ガビ、good job。
私があいつに助けられてばかりで、我先に逃げるなんてありえないの。
開けろ。外で何が起きてるんだ。このまま死ぬのはごめんだぞ。おい、出せ。マーレの襲撃だ。君を助けに来たのかもな。
マーレ軍がそんなことするわけありません。エルディア人を救出するなんて。
だが、君の帰りを待つ家族はいるんだろう。この気を逃したら一生帰れないぞ。俺はもう妻や娘には会えないだろう。ジンクが一言叫ぶだけで化け物になる。娘たちには伝えたいことがまだまだあったのにな。死んだも当然だ。おい、止まれ。
Oh my。
ここは我々イエーガー派の支配下にある。勝手な真似を。キクが君に俺たちがイエーガー様を助けに行くのも
John, we
命がけで
love
阻止する
you.
つもりか。すべての牢を開錠しろ。
Connie, no, before I said Armin, no, it was Connie finding Shadis. So sorry, I made a mistake.
行け。
敵視しれ。こうして。
まだまだボケておらんぞ。ただ少々飲みすぎてしもうての。
Yeah, because they didn't know that. I forgot to tell you.
よく聞け、皆の者。ここにある立体起動装置には数に限りがある。
Oh, this seems the war speech before starting the war. Do you understand what I mean?
まんまと敵の策にかかったノビスケどもはわしに続け。前線で侵略者を迎え撃つ。
Oh, goodness.
嬉しいです。
Oh my,嬉しいです。No, I don't think Mikasa cares. 多分Mikasa本当に何でもいいよ。何でもないよ。
そのマフラー置いていくんですか？
Yes, 置いていく because I love my dear Eren and I will protect that scarf, okay, until I come back. Oh. Mikasa is a goddess. I love her so much. Now I'm like Yelena. No, I'm joking. But I really like her. She's so beautiful. And let me tell you just one thing. For all the people who say that Mikasa became like a man in season 4, they don't understand anything because Mikasa in this season 4, is showing how woman she is. I mean, the feelings that they are going through her mind and her soul, her heart, whatever, she's so feminine. And look, she is so woman. So it's not because of a haircut that a woman is turning into a man. Thank you. Oh, let me tell you honestly, Mikasa is so beautiful. Here we go. Ah.
志願しなくのもんか。塞がれた。ジークが船を落としました。歴史が変わる瞬間はもう間もなくです。
Yeah, but you will be part of this change of the earth. I mean, you will die too, maybe.
歴
Or maybe she doesn't care. I think she doesn't care. I mean, if she dies, she doesn't care so much. The most important thing is to match them.
今助けを必要としているのはライナー
Raina.
の方か
Yeah.
ジークか。ここに。リヴァイ兵長が奴に自由を与えるはずがねえ。おい、兵長とハンジさんはどうなった？
ジークに敗れたと見るのが妥当です。
Believe it.
彼はエレンとの
I can't wait to see your face later.
約束の場所に現れました。
Yeah, yeah.
そんなバカな。
Can't wait, my dear.
残念だけど仕方がない。ジークとエレンが世界を救うためだ。僕たちもイェーガー派に加わり、二人の接触を支援しよう。
Mama, this silence, raga.
助けてください。信じていますよ。
I believe in you. Yeah, yeah, believe it. I would have said, yeah, yeah, believe me. そう。ユレナの顔ね、そんなことすごく悪いだったね。気持ち悪いね。
ところで何なのこの鉄パイプ。
Ah, yeah. This is the weapon that I was telling you before.
巨
Yeah,
人を殺すのは困難らしいがな。
yeah.
出てきた。街中火の海じゃないか。これじゃ逃げ場が。何言ってんだ。戦え。どうした？まずい。見つかった。兄です。そうだ。
Grande, no, grande già. Grande Nile.
俺はこの捕虜を民家に拘束してくる。俺たちは先に行くぞ。遅れるなよ。
Thank you, Roy. Thank you so much. And thank you. Hello, even all the others. Erikissimo. Hello. Thank you so much for the support. And thank you to Otaku-san. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm back. Thank you.
子供が来る場所じゃない。家に帰るんだ。
Standing ovation. And then when the Nile is doing like this and then he's going, that's the last time we will see him, I guess. It's always like this.
ガビ、どうして敵を信じたんだ？
Eh,
ここなら火は
そう、ナイル、本当にすごくいい人だったね。よく頑張ってた。そしたら、いいことを言ってたね。本当に。すごいだった。Kaya, come on. Kaya. I still hope that she's saying something else later. I mean, Kaya. Let's see. Later.
もう行ったみたいだ。俺たちも行くぞ。ガビ、
悪魔なんていなかった。この島には人がいるだ。
Ma che gli vuoi dire sto personaggio?
ライナーの気持ちがわかる。
Fantastic. Fantastic.
私たちは見たわけでもない人たちを一方的に悪魔だと決めつけて
Yeah, see all the cages over
同
there.
じことをずっと同じこと
Yeah.
を繰り返してる。
Yeah. Now that shot is becoming like a curse instead of being something to be proud of. Yeah, see the cage that is open.
あんたは分かっていたのに。
Yeah.
マキコ、
Gabi, you're free now.
俺はレベリオの襲撃に加担している。病院の傷痍軍人がエレン・イェーガーだ
No,
と知らず
Ciccio, you are not the guilty one. I mean, no.
レベリオで大勢 殺された。だからウドとソフィアも俺のせいで
No.
死んだ。
Now it's because of what other people did before. So
あとお前が好きだ。 前に呪いの巨人を継承してほしくないから
We all want a man like Falco in our life.
ずっと幸せでいるために
Yes.
お前に長生きしてほしかった。
Eren, you're still in time, huh? Just saying.
何言ってんの？
俺は巨人になっちまうかもしれないから
Hmm. Yeah.
残すことはね
Yeah. Oh, yes. ファルコの愛、そうそう。本当に好きだったこのことを。
行こ
お前が脊髄液
ファルコすごく素晴らしい。
叫びを
でも、
阻止できるかもしれ
なんだっけ、私、新しいキャラクターね、のことは、ファルコ一番好き。
エレンまで近づけね
Oh, I can't wait till Sunday. I mean,
もうすぐだ。あともう少しで俺たちの夢は叶う。
俺の、no, 僕の、you should have said, 僕の夢だ。俺たちじゃなくて、俺の、
そんなと
僕の、
ピークちゃん。やったぞ、シャリクの巨人を仕留めた。
ようやく追いついたと思ったんだ
oh, come on, Flock, you were not so perfect that you had everything under control. I don't think so. Ah, this music. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
罰限りの騙し討ちですよ。まだと決意。
Mappa, thank you for these shots. Thank you. Thank you so much. Dun, dun, dun. Yelena, what should we say now?
殺しましたか？
盛んで取れない。移動だ。
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, this tension now, see?
やはりか。もう止まってくれ。この世で一番それを思っちゃいけないのは
There is no turning back.
お前だ。やつに少しでも命があるんだ。叫ぶはずだ。
Okay, okay. We rewatched. I mean, I rewatched it. Okay, guys. Now it's 3 hours and 20 minutes. It's better if I go because you are going to hate me. Thank you so much for the support. I'm back, so just wait some days and you will have all the videos left. I will check tonight. That means in some hours. Code Geass and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Let's see if the hard disk is working. Fingers crossed. But anyway, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for joining me in this huge live streaming, and see you on Sunday with episode 19 of Shingeki no Kyojin season 4 part 2. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye, guys. See you next time. Bye. Thank you.